Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Sunrise Extra. Let's just take a deep collective breath before we launch right in. Nina, I don't see your picture yet. Where are you, girl?
There we
you
are. Hello. Good morning, everyone.
Absolutely.
Happy Tuesday.
Yes, happy Tuesday. And we have a guest. I guess it's this way. Backward. We have Jim White with the Nonprofit Association of Oregon. He's the executive director. Jim, thank you so much for getting up early with us to talk about this really important cause. We appreciate that. Can you tell us a little bit about the NAO for people who aren't familiar?
Sure. So we're the state association that supports charitable benefit organizations here in Oregon. We are ourselves a 501c3 organization, so a charity ourselves. And what we do is we help them to build their business models. We do a lot of training, and we also do advocacy work with our public sector folks to help them understand the needs that these organizations have. Nonprofits, charitable benefit nonprofits, are themselves private corporations that do public good. So we help them to maximize those efforts and to connect with each other to be as efficient and effective as possible.
So talk about, today we've been talking all morning about Giving Tuesday now. I've been seeing it all over social media. This is a campaign for people who need help, nonprofits who need help. Folks, if you're able to give any amount to help local organizations, talk about what COVID has done to the nonprofit world. This is kind of the time of year where a lot of auctions are happening, maybe outdoor events, and a lot of those have had to be canceled. Kind of talk about the impacts that you're hearing from some of your groups that you support.
Well, you're exactly right, is that the April-May time frame is one of the two big seasons of the year that nonprofits use to help to get donations from the public to do their work. And unfortunately, with the COVID situation, a lot of those events have been canceled. Additionally, a lot of organizations that do the direct work, public service organizations, are contracted by government to do that work. And as you've reported, and you know that the government has had serious challenges to their revenues. So there's a lot of need right now, a growing need, a difficulty in how to deliver services with the social distancing. And in addition now, additional resources needed by these organizations. So this Giving Tuesday Now initiative is a great initiative. It kicks forward in the year the traditional Giving Tuesday, which this year is scheduled to be held on December 1st. But they've kicked it forward to today so that nonprofits could connect with the community and hopefully get some donations and volunteerism.
Can you give us some idea of the scale of your organization? I don't even know. How many nonprofits are in Oregon?
Sure, there are, well, this is a little bit tricky, but there are about 33,000 nonprofits in all of Oregon. Of that, about 21 to 22,000 are what are called public benefit or charitable benefit organizations. So that's the 501c3 organizations that people can give to and get a tax write-off on their gift. The other kinds of nonprofits that are out there, everything from credit unions to the Granges to some types of veterans organizations, are the other types of organizations that make up nonprofits. So about 21,000 charitable benefit organizations across Oregon.
Mm-hmm. We saw yesterday, and now it's going to be happening 3 times a week, the Salvation Army gave out 800 food boxes for free to families who showed up to the Lloyd Center yesterday morning. And they're going to be doing those food box giveaways every Wednesday. I think it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday in Portland, Clackamas, and Gresham. There's more on our website if you're watching this. What kind of sectors? I mean, obviously, food boxes, that's a big thing. What sector of nonprofits are you seeing the most need, or I guess the most demand for help coming from the public.
Right. Well, there are so many different things that nonprofits do. In fact, I would challenge anybody in their normal week to not come in contact with a nonprofit in some way. They're running charter schools. They're the art museums. They're running cultural events. But as you mentioned, they're also directly supporting those people who are disadvantaged in society, the homeless, people who are living in poverty, people who've been historically marginalized. So the need is paramount across all of these different kinds of organizations. Of course, there's a growing need right now for people to receive assistance from nonprofits. But when I think of the different sectors of the nonprofits, so many of them are challenged right now because of the distancing rules and the fact that they have to do their work is needed even more right now, but the resources have definitely shrunk.
Okay, I'm the type of person who needs some action items. It really does help me when I think about donating or pitching in some way, shape, or form. Can you give me some concrete things that people can either think about doing or places that they can go to find out more so that we can make sure that our efforts just get the maximum impact that we could possibly have on this?
Absolutely. We're very lucky in Oregon that 43% of Oregonians volunteer with nonprofits, with organizations. That actually ranks us third in the country in all the states. So Oregonians really care about their community. And what I always encourage people to do is to give to organizations that they're directly involved with, give to organizations that are helping to, with after school programs with their children, that are helping to, initiate programs in their community that they're enjoying and benefiting from. But at this particular time, you can certainly go on to our website. We have a list of our members who are over 1,000 charitable benefit organizations throughout the state. Large, small, rural, urban, all the different subsectors. Or you can go on to things like the Better Business Bureau. You can go on to Charity Navigator to find those organizations. And I do encourage people to give. There really is a great need right now.
Mm-hmm. What about, what's kind of are nonprofits trying to figure out, just like the rest of us, kind of what the future looks like? I mean, in terms of like volunteering or packing food boxes or donating clothes. I know a lot of people, they've been doing a lot of spring cleaning with all of this time on our hands. I have a whole room full of stuff that's waiting to be donated. What do you think that kind of world is going to look like in a couple of months?
Right. Well, we know, I've talked with a number of the leaders of nonprofits that work with organizations who use a lot of volunteers, and they are having to rethink their models. You think of something like Meals on Wheels, which has volunteers delivering food assistance to elderly, and themselves, many of these volunteers can't be doing that role right now. So they've had to change and morph their model. What I know that many of them are doing now is trying to figure out how will they be able to continue to do that work safely as the state begins to open up, as social distancing it will likely stay in place in some ways, but that we'll be able to get back to work in a different and new way. So it's going to be having to, train and purchase PPE and work with those volunteers to make sure that they can stay safe as they're delivering the assistance that they're helping to deliver.
Jim, does the Federal CARES Act do anything for nonprofits?
Yes, it does. There are a couple of different things that are going on in the CARES Act, and probably the biggest piece of that is the Paycheck Protection Program, which supports, which had billions and billions of dollars coming through to help to keep people in their jobs. Now, this would only support nonprofits who actually are employing people. It wouldn't be supportive of the organizations who are all volunteer. There are nonprofits, many nonprofits who are all volunteer and have no staff, but the PPP and other programs that were written into the CARES Act actually do support nonprofits because we are small businesses as well. We just, our product or our service, if you will, is social good.
Now, Dan DeRocher on Facebook brings up a good point. He says it wouldn't be so bad donating to a lot of these groups, but about 20% of the money goes to helping people. The other 80% sometimes goes into management. You need to check into whoever you're donating. And there's a lot of ratings out there of which charities, really funnel the most amount of your money to the most good. How do you kind of make sure that you're donating to a legitimate place?
Yeah. I'm not sure that the 2080 number is exactly correct. I've seen a lot of nonprofits who are able to deliver very efficiently on the work that they do. But I would say this is that, I go back to what I first said, is that donate to organizations that you're actually involved with, that are in your community, that you care about, the issues that you care about, and check them out. Do some research online. We know, unfortunately, there are scammers out there right now who will take advantage of a crisis to try to raise money that does not actually go to the benefit of society and is basically just pocketed. We're very lucky here in Oregon. We have an organization within the Department of Justice called the Charitable Affairs Section that specifically regulates charities in Oregon and looks at the work that we do and weeds out those that are not doing public benefit work.
The need has never been more urgent, but can you put that in a little bit of perspective? I mean, are we talking some nonprofits may actually have to go out of business? Will some of them have to shut down if they don't get enough help from individuals or the government or wherever it's coming from?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's true, is that we will probably see some nonprofits that are not going to make it through this. And I would definitely appeal to your viewers to help them now. We have a lot of organizations that care. I mean, we should always think of nonprofits as this is not just the group of people who are bringing, vital assistance when people are in crisis, but they're also bringing the things that we care about in society: beauty, joy, culture, art, the things that make Oregon a great place to live, protecting our environment. So if those are the things that you care about as an Oregonian, now is the time to step up and help those organizations out.
And we've made it really easy. You see right over there on the bottom right hand of your screen, it says text the word give to 503-226-5088. If you text that word give, we're going to text you right back a list of local nonprofits and organizations that could really use your help if you connect with any of those subjects. And so we've made it really easy. You can do that all day long. There's national campaigns for this Giving Tuesday now. Jim, tell us how are you doing? How are folks that volunteer? How are they holding up right now? I mean, what have you kind of been busy with? I assume maybe you're working from home. What are you busy with right now?
Yeah, we are extra busy right now because a lot of what we do is we're providing information. So we're having to kind of weed through things like the CARES Act and help nonprofits understand that, help them to apply. Next week, for instance, we're going to be doing a town hall with all nonprofits who want to join, with both Senators Wyden and Senator Merkley, so they can ask them direct questions about what's happening in DC and how they can channel additional assistance to Oregon communities. So we're keeping super busy right now.
I always find when I do events and volunteer with the local nonprofits in the Portland area that they are the most genuine, wonderful, hardworking people, and they're also humble. They don't usually just shoot for the moon. They're so grateful for whatever anybody wants to give. But I'm going to ask you this morning to shoot for the moon. If you had a wish list, because there are people out there who could deliver on it, what would you ask for if you were thinking big, big, big?
Well, I would ask for those folks to challenge some of our foundations, our philanthropy, to match their gifts. If there's an individual out there who has that level of wealth, maybe they could actually contact one of our foundations here in Oregon and challenge them to match that gift, or challenge corporations that they work for to match their gift, because that's a great way for them to be able to help us really get that extra accelerant in our rocket ships to shoot for the moon.
Is it going to be, as we kind of come out of this and we're going to go into, a recession / depression, I mean, I kind of asked you this earlier, but I mean, is it housing assistance? Is it straight up food? Is it, employment resources? Like, what do you think is going to be kind of at the top tier of needs?
Well, we're obviously going to see initially that there will be those sort of Maslow's hierarchy of needs issues that will need to be attended to. People need food. People need clean water. They need shelter. They need places to raise their families. And with so much unemployment happening, we will see a lot of people challenged in those ways. I would, though, remind everyone that those aren't the only things that people need to be able to survive and thrive. Mental health services are skyrocketing. The need for mental health is skyrocketing right now. We always see in disasters, domestic violence, unfortunately, skyrockets. So those types of programs need to be supported now more than ever. And as we go forward into the year in a recession, we need to think about what are the things that are going to bring joy even when we're challenged. Even in a disaster, kids still want to play. Children still need to be educated. Elderly people want to be able to socialize and connect with their friends. And so what are the types of programs that we as Oregonians care about, and how can we make sure that those don't get put by the wayside during this time of need?
I love that you said that. That is just beautifully, beautifully said, because really the pandemic puts a microscope or a magnifying glass, I guess that's what I should say, on any problem that we have. It just gets worse under stress. And I know that I've gotten myself into the habit of saying social distancing, but I'm going to try and change that to do physical distancing, because we need more connection more than ever from here on out. We're probably around the same age. I don't know how old you are, and I won't ask, but can you just give me a little perspective looking back on all the things that we're going through now? It is just unprecedented. Are you optimistic? Are you pessimistic? How are you actually feeling about everything that we've been through?
I am optimistic. I mean, I think that Oregonians are resilient. People, as both individuals and collectively, are resilient. There are definitely times where these types of disasters get people down. But as I said, if they can rally together through technology, I mean, we're lucky today that we have technology to be able to connect like this, so that we can talk to each other, we can see each other face to face, and try to help each other get through this. I think that we will come out of this okay, and we will be able to build back better. That's the important thing, is that, in the future, if we're put in this kind of a situation, that we can remember these times and connect more quickly, and be able to face them more quickly and deal with the consequences.
Jim White, the Executive Director of the Nonprofit Association of Oregon. Thank you so much for waking up early with us. Their website, nonprofitoregon.org. Again, if you just text that word GIVE to 503-226-5088, we will text you back a list of all of the local organizations. Keep your money right here in our community that need your help right now. If you need help, you can find more information on kgw.com. For that, as well as calling 211 for help. Jim, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we hope that we know that people will come through and help our nonprofits. They have helped us so much. So have a good day on this Giving Tuesday now. Happy Tuesday. Bye, guys. We'll see you tomorrow.